Am I the asshole for snapping at my coworker and bringing up the state of her marriage? I, 28F, have been in this job for 5 years. I have also been married to my husband, 30M, for the same duration. Except for the year we were WFH. My husband, who is a florist, has been sending me a small bouquets of flowers every Monday. Think 3 roses, a small bunch of baby breath. Just small arrangements. I have a small vase on my desk where I put them. This year a new woman joined our workplace. The first Monday she was here, when I received my bouquet she asked if it was a special day. Another coworker said that it was a weekly gift from my husband. She made a face and changed the subject. But she started making comments every single Monday when the receptionist brings my gift in. Small things like, "Well, we can't all afford to waste our money on stuff like that," or, "Don't you think that's a bit tacky?" I never reacted to her jabs. I am a pro at selective hearing. This last Monday she went over the line emo. She said, "I think your hubby is overcompensating. Are you sure he doesn't have a mistress?" I was pissed, and I said, "Well, some of us love our spouses and like to show it. Not all of us are staying in a toxic relationship for the sake of keeping appearances." Which was a low blow, since I knew that she was having trouble with her husband. She started sobbing and left work early. And while every single person in the office says that I was in the right, that I was more patient than they would have been in my situation, I can't help but feel like I went too far. So am I the asshole? NTA. She sounded jealous. Then just mean. She got what she deserves. Not the asshole. It sounds like you rose to the occasion, putting her in her place. She has no reason to stir the pot, unless she's nosy. You need to say, "Listen, bud, stop stalking me and leave me alone." Not the asshole. She bullied you and then acted as the victim as soon as you defended herself. You don't owe her anything. Maybe she'll learn to think before she speaks next time. What's it to her if your husband sends you flowers every Monday? Literally none of her business. You keep on receiving those flowers, girl. Not the asshole. Damn. Women can be mean to each other, huh? Grin. I ain't mad at you though. She shot first, you shot best man shrugging. NTA. Stupid comments equals stupid prizes. She is jealous and showed her bad side. Honestly, I wildness said something long before. Am I the asshole for wanting my stepdaughter to switch schools in her junior year to live with us? My husband and I have been married for 2 years and have 5 children. His daughter from a previous marriage, 16, my 2 sons from a previous relationship, 13 and 15, and 2 children together, 3 and 1. My husband's daughter lived primarily with her mother until she was in 8th grade, when she was offered a scholarship to go to a very good boarding school for high school. I've never agreed with the idea of sending teenagers to live away from family, but her mother and my then fiancé agreed that it would be beneficial for her. They drafted a new custody agreement to reflect the new school schedule. My husband moved out of state, so he always had summers and holidays anyway. When I married my husband, I thought that she would be just a day boarder, which seems better than full-time, so I let it go. By the time I learned the truth, 2020 was in full swing and removing her wouldn't have been safe even if she'd wanted to leave, which she didn't. Fast forward to 2022, she's 16 years old and a junior. I recently learned that her mother moved back to her home country 6 months ago and has been letting my stepdaughter manage her own money. This means that there's now not even a parent in the same state or even side of the country from my stepdaughter. She is completely independent in her day-to-day life. My stepdaughter has every weekend unsupervised to do whatever she pleases, and independent access to not only multiple major cities, but is only a day trip from another country that she has dual citizenship in. I've seen Facebook posts of her just going to art shows in other states without her having even pretended to ask one of her parents for permission. This isn't acceptable. It's not okay for a teenager to just go live her own life, especially to this degree. We have 2 sons that are only 1 and 3 years behind her, and they're starting to see the double standard as well. I would never let any of my kids do the things my stepdaughter is doing. She's my child too, and this needs to stop. She needs to change schools to be either with her mother or with us and be part of a family. My husband says that it's different because she was raised differently, and is just more responsible, but that's bull. If he actually thinks she's not being a normal 16-year-old with that level of freedom, he's lying to himself. My stepdaughter loves her school, of course, and is very resistant to changing schools for all of 1 year of high school to leave her friends, and no doubt doesn't want to actually have rules. I'm still pushing the issue, and now my husband and stepdaughter are mad at me for trying to change the status quo. The boys are mad at me for having double standards, and other family members are mad at me for either over or under stepping in my role. Am I the asshole? You are the asshole. She's at boarding school and doesn't need to ask permission to see art shows. You're being dramatic and she's not even your child. On top of that, you're controlling. You're acting as if she's getting drunk and high every night and interacting with bad people her age, older. Calm down. You have no good reason for her to change schools and you're overstepping your role. Her parents already created a plan and you have to respect that. You are the asshole. She hasn't given you any reason to doubt her ability to take care of herself and behave appropriately, so you would be punishing her for literally nothing. She's going to art shows? How wild. Just leave the kid alone. She's not your child and she's been fine this long. Removing her from a situation that works for her and isn't harming anyone would be cruel and unreasonable. You should be proud she's independent and cultured. You are the asshole. You are violently overstepping any rights you have none. You are a step-parent of a very short time period who has never had any responsibility or role in raising this child. Admit it. You're jealous that your stepdaughter has a truly amazing life-improving opportunity and you can't give it to your children, so you want to wreck the nice thing this poor girl has. Sit down and shut up before you tank your marriage. You are the asshole. She's not your child too. Her parents have decided how to raise their child and it is none of your business. You need to step back and leave this alone. Whether or not your sons feel there's a double standard is besides the point. They're old enough to understand that their stepsister's parents have made choices for her, and that you and your husband are entitled to make different choices. You are the asshole. She's not your kid and honestly she sounds pretty responsible, mature, and independent for a 16-year-old. You just sound jealous. You are the asshole. There are agreements in place and oversight from the school. Am I the asshole for asking my mom not to go on holiday? So it all stems from my stepdad's mother Brenda. My mum and stepdad have been together since I, 17M, was about 5. Brenda has always been very clear that she does not consider me to be a part of her family, one of her grandkids, and that she has no intention of treating me as such. She avoids talking to me when she can help it, and if she has to, she treats me in much the same way she treats the kids of family friends. Mum got largely the same treatment for the first couple of years, till she have Brenda another actual grandchild. It also means I get left out of everything Brenda pays for. She happens to be really wealthy, so throughout our childhood this meant things like my siblings going to private schools where Brenda paid their tuition fees while I went to the local comprehensive, and my siblings always having better toys and gadgets and stuff than I did. It's also meant that they go on a family holiday each year, which I don't get to go to. These are usually really fancy holidays. I'm talking first-class flights, 5-star resorts, luxury cruises, the works. Prior to now, whenever the family went on holiday I would just hang out with my granddad. He never had a lot of money, but he always found something for us to do for that week or two. It was just me. It was never anything flashy like the family were doing, but it was always so much fun and so special. However, Granddad was sick for the past few years and not up for our trips, so we just hung out at his house, and then he died last autumn. I was absolutely broken by his passing. I lost my granddad and my best friend all in one. I still haven't really gotten over it. Anyway, that all brings us to now. Brenda recently announced the date for this year's family holiday 2 weeks, with the third day of the first week being my birthday. If Granddad was still around, I wouldn't have minded so much. They've been away for my birthday before, but it didn't matter if I could spend it with him. But this year will be my first birthday ever without him. I don't really want to be by myself, so I've asked my mum if she wouldn't mind staying at home with me this year. She said no, and at first I just accepted it, but after thinking about it I really don't want to be by myself, so I asked again and kinda said that if she did go I would be super upset and probably not talk to her for a while. Mum and my stepdad both got super mad at me and said that I'm being a selfish arsehole just trying to ruin their trip because I'm jealous. They say I'm an adult now, so it's silly for me to care this much about doing stuff on my birthday anyway, and my stepdad also called me a brat. Now I feel even shittier than I felt about being home alone, and I want to know if I'm really being a selfish arsehole. Every single person in this situation is an asshole except for you and your granddad, and possibly your siblings, depending on how old they are. Hopefully you will soon be completely independent of them and never have to deal with their petty, nasty behavior again. Not the asshole. Get as far away from all of them as possible. They have been abusing you since you were 5. Counseling and cut ties. Stat. WTF man. Feeing horrible people. Not the asshole. Your family should never have been going on vacations without you in the first place, and this really is the evil icing on the cake. I'm so sorry both for your loss, and for your family being such supreme Oz. Not the asshole. Brenda, Mum and SD are all tush for treating you like this. It's so unloving, unkind and unfair. I can't really find words to say how bad this is as a way of treating their child, especially your mother. 17 Yo is not an adult. You are growing into an adult, but even then everyone needs love, support and care and you're getting none of that. I'm sorry, but at least you can know yourself you are not the asshole. P.S. I will soon have 10 grandchildren, and 2 will be adopted, but I would never treat them like Brenda is treating you. Not the asshole. Your mom has allowed you to be neglected since you were 5. That's despicable. No wonder she's throwing the selfish label at you. It's her guilty conscience telling you what she thinks of herself, and she is utterly selfish. Not the asshole. You're living a real-life Cinderella story except your mom is still alive and one of the evil characters. I am sorry for your loss. I hope you have other extended family that you can turn to and build relationships with, plus a good friend base to help you through these trying times. Am I the asshole for saying I should have been asked before my son got a massive tattoo? My son is 8 and thinks tattoos are cool just like dinosaurs or UFOs or pirates. His mom decided to do something outrageous by letting get a fake sleeve tattoo of dinosaurs, UFOs and pirates. I found out after his teacher sent us an email about it. He thought it was too distracting. I had not seen my son since Friday. We share him every week, so this was strange. I went to his school and surprised him. He was wearing a sweater and pulled it back to see his arm. I asked him if had any other tattoos and he said yes on his side. I lifted up his shirt and the sleeve runs to his side. His teacher was there and I said it looked absolutely trashy and agreed with him. My son's mom said she couldn't believe we were making a big deal out of what was equivalent to markers and reminded us that she does not have tattoos but we do. I told her she should have ran this by me first. I would have told her to tone it down. When I gave him a bath, I tried washing it off abs, it wouldn't come off. This isn't the cheap cereal box tattoo stuff. You are the asshole. Way to break the kid's spirit. Fake tattoos aren't hurting anybody and the kid is happy. Why ruin that? You are the asshole. You seriously called an 8-year-old trashy? Get a grip. Fake tattoos on children are not trashy. Stop trying to put adult connotations on innocent happiness. Sounds like he had fun at his mom's house. Stop trying to make him feel ashamed of it. YTA. You are the asshole. What a fun and special thing for your son's mom to do for him and how ridiculous and sad for you to take that away from him. Do you think maybe he likes tattoos because you have them? How hypocritical. Let me get this straight. You're upset that your kid is happy with a temporary tattoo? I'ma break it down even more. Your kid is happy, because of something that will not last. And you're upset? Do you really need to ask? Obviously YTA. You are the asshole. This poor kid just wanted to have some fun and instead he has his teacher and his parent calling him trashy for it. Disgusting.